On April 29, 1945, a profound event unfolded at the Dachau concentration camp in Bavaria, southern Germany. The notorious SS assault chief, Heinrich Wicker, made the fateful decision to surrender the camp to the advancing troops led by Brigadier General Henning Linden of the United States Army's 42nd Infantry Division. This pivotal moment marked the beginning of the camp's liberation, exposing the horrifying reality of its unimaginable atrocities to American soldiers. However, this historical episode is shrouded in controversy and conflicting accounts, which have created a cloud of uncertainty around the events that transpired. In this episode, we embark on an investigative journey to unravel the intricate and disputed aspects of Dachau's liberation. We navigate through the complex layers of history, where questions often outnumber answers, challenging our understanding of this turbulent past. By delving into the conflicting testimonies and examining the available evidence, our goal is to shed light on the enigmatic and contentious aspects of this historic event. Through careful analysis and a quest for the truth, we aim to provide a clearer and more comprehensive picture of what truly transpired during the liberation of Dachau, a pivotal moment that continues to intrigue and confound historians and the public alike. The scenario. On that fateful day of April 29, 1945, as American soldiers approached the ominous gates of Dachau concentration camp, they were abruptly thrust into a nightmarish tableau that would haunt their memories for a lifetime. This was a place that had remained hidden from the world's view for far too long, and its revelation would expose the horrifying consequences of unchecked brutality. Within the camp's grim and forbidding confines, the liberating troops encountered a panorama of human suffering that defied the bounds of imagination. Thousands of prisoners, their emaciated bodies reduced to mere shadows of their former selves, were locked in a relentless battle against malnutrition, illness, and unrelenting despair. The skeletal figures they encountered bore the indelible marks of protracted torment, with their hollow eyes serving as haunting witnesses to their unwavering determination to survive amidst the unspeakable horrors that had been inflicted upon them. Yet, even more chilling and grotesque were the scattered train cars scattered throughout the camp. These nightmarish cargo holds, filled to the brim with the decaying remains of countless souls, provided irrefutable and ghastly evidence of the depths of human cruelty that had festered within Dachau's grim confines. The liberators, as they stepped into this abyss, were confronted with a horrific tableau of death and suffering that stood as an unrelenting reminder of the heinous crimes against humanity that had taken place behind these very walls. This grim tableau underscored the pressing need to reveal the full scope of Dachau's horrors to the world, to ensure that such atrocities would never be forgotten or repeated. The incident, the liberation of Dachau concentration camp on April 29, 1945, is a historical event marked by controversy and conflicting accounts that have cast a lingering shadow of uncertainty over its narrative. One of the central points of contention revolves around the number of German prisoners of war who met their demise during this tumultuous episode. Some testimonies assert that over 500 German soldiers were executed by American troops, abruptly ending their lives in a moment of chaos and retribution. In stark contrast, other narratives provide a different perspective, describing the immediate execution of certain Nazi figures along with their canine companions. This act of retaliation was seen by some as a form of retribution for the unspeakable atrocities committed within the camp's confines. Even General Dwight Eisenhower, a prominent figure in the Allied forces and a key witness to the liberation, mentioned the event but did little to resolve the overarching dispute about the scale and nature of the executions during this chaotic and emotionally charged episode. These conflicting accounts have created an enduring veil of uncertainty around the events that transpired on that fateful day at Dachau. The liberation of Dachau remains a complex and contentious chapter in history, characterized by persistent questions that continue to perplex historians and challenge our understanding of the past. Unraveling the enigma of Dachau's liberation remains an ongoing endeavor, as scholars and researchers strive to piece together the fragmented and often conflicting narratives that surround this pivotal event in World War II. The truth. Amidst the multitude of conflicting accounts surrounding the liberation of Dachau concentration camp, the testimony of Brigadier General Felix "Shotgun" Sparks emerges as one of the most pivotal and divergent narratives. Sparks played a central role in the events of that day, and his perspective stands in contrast to many other recollections. General Sparks asserted that while American troops did confine German prisoners of war, there was no mass execution. His account emphasizes that the prisoners were detained, but not subjected to a widespread coordinated killing. This version of events contradicts the narratives that claimed hundreds of German soldiers were summarily executed. In the aftermath of the liberation, investigations were launched to ascertain the facts of the incident. These inquiries ultimately led to the dismissal of charges against those involved, including Sparks and other American soldiers. The investigations, while acknowledging the complexities and chaos of the situation, did not substantiate the claims of mass executions. Instead, historical records suggest that the total number of SS guards killed during the liberation of Dachau did not exceed approximately 50, a stark contrast to the higher figures proposed by some accounts. The discrepancy in casualty figures remains a contentious point in the ongoing debate about what transpired at Dachau on April 29, 1945. Furthermore, the liberation also witnessed a grim aspect as some surviving prisoners seized the opportunity to exact revenge on their captors amid the prevailing confusion. This vengeful aspect adds another layer of complexity to the already contentious events that unfolded during the liberation of Dachau, making it a deeply intricate and controversial chapter in World War II history. The victims. While the Dachau massacre is often associated with the actions of American soldiers, it is crucial to recognize that the victims of this tragic event extended beyond the guards and SS personnel. The liberation of Dachau on April 29, 1945, witnessed a complex and harrowing dynamic where some of the surviving prisoners took the opportunity to exact revenge on their captors. Many of the prisoners held at Dachau had endured unspeakable cruelty and sadistic treatment at the hands of their Nazi captors. They had experienced physical and psychological torment that defied imagination, leaving them scarred both physically and emotionally. As the liberating American forces entered the camp, the emotions of these survivors were undoubtedly running high. In the midst of the chaos and confusion that marked the camp's liberation, some of the prisoners saw an opportunity for retribution. Accounts suggest that they targeted the guards and SS personnel who had subjected them to the worst atrocities. These acts of revenge were carried out with bare hands or improvised weapons, and they bore witness to the profound trauma and pent-up anger that had festered within the camp's walls. The retaliatory actions of the prisoners added another layer of complexity to the already tumultuous events of that day. It is essential to view these actions in the context of the unimaginable suffering endured by those incarcerated at Dachau for years. While they were now free, they were far from unscathed, carrying the physical and emotional scars of their ordeal. The controversy surrounding the liberation of Dachau continues to persist, with conflicting narratives and varying accounts. This historical event remains a subject of debate and intrigue as differing perspectives shape the understanding of what truly transpired. Your thoughts on these events and their implications are welcome in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications to explore more significant military events that have left their mark on history. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history.